All right, everybody. Thought we'd do a bike check. We're a family of 4. We have 2 kids who are mountain bikers, and we've been mountain biking. If you follow us on Instagram, you've seen a couple of the pictures when they were real little. If you have kids and you mountain bike, you know the struggle of how fast they grow, how inexpensive bikes are way too heavy and they break all the time. If you're maintaining them yourself, you know how not fun that is and how much time you spend on the rest of the bikes other than your own. But that's reality. So what we have here was mom and dad's solution to relatively affordable alternative for our son at the time for his bike. He had turned about 8 or 9 and needed a new bike. He had outgrown his 24-inch, so we needed a 26er. Right about that time on EMTBR, everybody was talking about these Chinese carbon frames and bikes that you could get with no names on them for a really good deal. And so that's what I did. Mom had, or still has, and is riding a Santa Cruz Nickel. And we found out that you could 27.5 that bike. It came with 26-inch wheels, but that would mean new fork, new rims, and a couple more components to update it. So that's what we did. We stripped her bike and built this bike. And so this is 100% carbon fiber knockoff frame from China. It cost us $380 Canadian, which is like free in the United States nearly, or probably about $250, $300 at the time, US. It had some issues that we had to tweak on it. It actually had cable bosses on it, like we had in the 90s with open cabling. So I had to take a grinder to them, and I ground them out, and I'll show you close-up shots of that. To run the cables, and it's kind of that way. It is what it is. But when it was all said and done, we put at the time the Fox Alps series fork on it from Mom's bike. So it's got a 130 millimeter fork, so that slackened it out from what it was probably intended to be. We ended up buying a new bars and stem for Mom's, and so this one got an FSA sticker, looks like carbon stem on it, and then we put some aluminum bars from somewhere else. We bought this saddle on Amazon, and I think this thing is actually carbon, the water bottle holder. It's got Mom's old disc brake or wheels on it, which are the Mavic 117 discs on it. We went with a 1x setup with who makes this one? With the race face narrow wide on it, and now it's running it's 1x10 with a 40 tooth in the back and a 30 tooth in the front. We kind of chinched on the brakes. These are just Avid, I think level 1s back in the day when we built it. There's not a ton of adjustment to it, but they work well enough. I mean, it's a kid's bike. It's unreal. It weighs about 22 to 23 pounds depending on the pedals that are on it and stuff. And in total, we have probably about $1,000 into it now. And it's been around for 6 years? About 6 years. And it's paid for itself. But it's been a really good bike. It's got the Shimano XT cranks on it. Threaded bottom bracket, which is actually pretty crazy because it is a carbon bike that they spec'd it with the threaded bottom bracket. Other than that, I have no complaints. If they are still available, I haven't looked. The kids have just rode the crap out of this bike, and it's held together. No issues with the carbon whatsoever. So I don't know if you could still get a knockoff frame, but it's been really I have zero complaints. We did throw the dropper on, by the way, Chain Reaction brand X dropper, and actually all of our bikes have those right now, and they work phenomenal. The button, we have two different versions, and the button on this one's actually a lot better. I like it better than the wolf tooth style button, and that's just because the brand X version of that lever is terrible. But this button works really well.
Thanks for watching GMM2B Life. Please like, subscribe, and click that little bell to see when our next video is put up.